Okay, so maybe you're thinking of selling your home and you've heard about curb appeal and you're wondering, is it necessary and what is it? And honestly, if I do this whole curb appeal thing, how much money am I gonna make? Well, today we're gonna talk about what curb appeal is, if you need to do it, and how much money you're gonna make if you do it correctly. Stay tuned. Okay, so you have what we would consider a higher end home. You're above the average sale price, and well, there's still very good demand in your marketplace, but this is a marketplace where shining matters a little bit more. So in an average price point, there's enough demand that honestly, a generally well-kept home is still gonna see top dollar, but as you start to go up, buyers are looking for justification, and they're not just looking for more square footage or particular location. They overall have this feeling that they want things to be more intact, and 66% of buyers say that they consider curb appeal and exterior maintenance to be a top factor in what they're willing to pay. So one, maintenance is super important here. Now, not everyone was raised the same way. Not everyone had handy people in their family. Not everyone even recognizes what is maintenance for a home. So that might mean if you have wood on the exterior, making sure that none of it's warped, no pieces on a deck are popping up, making sure there's no rotten wood around windows and door frames, or even around the fascia and the soffit of the home, making sure the gutter system is intact, making sure that there's no green moss or algae growing on the outside of the home. So basically all the neat and clean factors, those first have to be addressed along with major maintenance items. Now, you don't always have to do them, but what I would recommend, if not, is to get a quote to repair it. So when you present this to a consumer, you can say, this is the actual cost to address this, okay? Now, one of the things I've talked about before is on average, you should be spending 5 to 20% of your home's value on what's called your curb appeal. Now I say curb appeal because that's maintenance for one, landscape for another. So I don't want to confuse those two and I have everyone, getting these crazy landscape budgets or pools installed, okay? The main thing is maintenance, that's first and foremost. Now, that doesn't mean if you never spend anything on the outside, you're gonna go and drop 10% or 20% right now. It's just understanding that it's that fraction of value. So if you haven't spent that money, then there's a good chance there's some deferred maintenance and it might take away from your home's overall value by that amount because another person is gonna come in, a new buyer, a new homeowner, and they're gonna spend that percentage of money to get the home up to par, so to speak. Now, as you go up in price, there's a lot of things you're gonna do. If your home is not already pure custom, let's say you bought a builder's grade home, a really nice home in a nice area with good square footage, but they're gonna just put the minimum shrubs in there. So maybe as you're starting to create value and competition, your price point, you're gonna come and put some flowering bushes there. You're gonna take out some of the shrubs. You're gonna add maybe some river rock or some things that didn't exist before. Maybe you replace straw with mulch. You're gonna start to do that as you're going up in price point. Then as you go even further up in price point, that's when you start to look at more exquisite landscaping, fountains, uplighting to property, of course, having irrigation systems installed. Things that are going to help with maintenance, maybe having leaf guards if you live in an area with a lot of mature trees, a lot of pine straw, things like that in the south, maybe having those leaf guards installed on your gutter system. So you're looking at upgraded maintenance items for a home that are going to help do some of the work for you. Of course, having the maintenance maintained, pressure washing, keeping everything neat and clean, and then starting to elevate the landscaping that you do have with the types of materials, the types of plants, not necessarily having the builder grade stock plants, or if you do, like I said, adding embellishments like the river rock, maybe upgrading to mulch, maybe adding some more planters that are annual flowers, things like that. So that's what you're gonna look to do to see that higher return. Again, everything comes down to this. I tell sellers all the time when they're trying to figure out where to price their home, they're thinking it is so awesome and valuable. Every seller thinks it in every single price point, and they're right. But we tell every seller is this: go look at everything that's sold for the last 3 months and look in the price point. So like if you think your home should be priced at $600,000 versus $625,000 versus $650,000 versus $700,000. Take your home and use your imagination and drop it into each of those price points and look at what has sold. And so if what you have is better than the homes that are $600,000 because of the overall home package and the curb appeal, then that probably puts you in a position where you're gonna sell for a higher price point. Conversely, if you're looking at everybody else in this price point of $650,000 and they all have underground irrigation, you're starting to see fountains, really developed landscaping, no maintenance items, you know that either you're going to drop your price below that or you're going to become a match for what they've done. That's going to help you define what kinds of things you may want to do to your landscaping or your home maintenance to improve that curb appeal, to become competitive and belong in that price point. So those are the kind of things that you can do. If you have specific questions about your yard, always ask. If you have specific questions about maintenance, always ask. Always here to help. Take care. I'm Tammy with the clever people at eXp Realty. And if you want more tips on how to make top dollar curb appeal, keep watching for other episodes or reach out to me directly and we can talk about your home specifically.